Good afternoon to everybody. We just had in the last session talked about the concept of ecosystem. Today we shall go one step ahead and find out some important aspects of ecosystem. Especially, I would like to cover today two important areas. One is the structure and function. Second is the productivity. So we are going to continue to work on ecosystem. Just to recollect what is ecosystem, we can just say that it is a biological community where it has living beings and non-living beings living together in an interconnected way, coordinated way, and performing many ecological functions which is essential for the sustainability of the living beings and also protection of the eco parts, or what we call the environmental parts. When that is the condition, we also spoke in the last class about the word stratification. We will try to understand a little more about it. So now we will find out that the ecosystem will be the one what we are going to study from different angles. Now, ecosystem could be, we say, it could be natural, in this natural system, we will have largely two parts will be there. One is the terrestrial ecosystem and next one will be aquatic. So in the terrestrial system, we have different types of ecosystems, arrangements. It may be forest, it may be tundra region, it may be marshy area, like that. There will be so many things. In the aquatic, we may have major two types. One is the marine, that is the connected to sea and oceans, and then fresh water that is connected to ponds, lakes and rivers. So we have different types of ecosystems. In any ecosystem you take, it will be a part of the earth, what you call it is geological part. It will be a geological part, and it also contains many non-living components which we refer to as biotic and abiotic factors. So it will be largely a geological part. So if you take forest, very different, tundra region will be different, maybe desert, we can say like that. We can keep on classifying them, do it later on. So it will be a small part of our total earth. If you think of the earth has many regions and many zones. So each zone we can call it a geological part. So that is a very important thing you must know, because that is the one that decides about the nature of the ecosystem. So from there we come to the next part. That means either we can think of natural or even man-made. We will come to that later on. So we will just go and find out what is that we are talking about it today. So we are going to talk today as a continuation part of it as what we call the structure of the ecosystem. Structure and also function we can think of. Of the ecosystem. Now, what do we mean by structure? If I ask you to tell me the structure of a flower, what will you do? Remember, you will find out how many parts are there, what is the color of the part, whether the part is big or small, like that you tell. The same way, when we think of the ecosystem structure, we will think of the components in that, or you can call them the parts, components and parts that will form the structure. So what are the components? If you look at the components, we will have two types of components. One will be biotic, other will be abiotic. Biotic refers to living systems. Abiotic refers to non-living. So when you study the structure of the ecosystem, these are very important because especially non-living components of the ecosystem play a major role in deciding the structure of the ecosystem. Now let us say that the abiotic factors may include, it will include sunlight. Now of course this is common to any part of the earth we go, will be sunlight. There will be water, there will be air. Air contains oxygen and carbon dioxide, etc. Then you have earth, especially the soil that contains the minerals, etc. And then there will be the, due to sunset, there will be temperature. It may be cold or it may be warm, etc. So these are the abiotic factors that will decide the structure of the ecosystem. When this is decided, then in the living beings, when you come to living beings are the abiotic factors, here you have different species of organisms. This will also help us to know the structure of the ecosystem. So when you think of a place like, supposing you take the soil as an example, and you say in the soil there is only sand. It is hot. So in this type of a ecosystem, the structure which tells the soil will be sandy, it will be hot, there will be large sunlight, less water, then what are the types of species we get in this will be limited. We will not be able to see lions, giraffe and all. Lion, we will not see elephant and all, but we may find something like the species like camels. So that means the structure of a ecosystem is nothing but its composition made by the components. Components include biotic and abiotic factors, and abiotic factors mostly determine the nature of the species of organisms present in that. It refers to either plant or animal, both may be there, that will be there. So structure of a ecosystem, when we are talking about it, you have to think of a ecosystem where you have to decide about the non-biotic or abiotic factors, and that will help us to tell about the structure and the nature of the species present in that particular thing. So we can now, based upon that, we can say that there are different types of ecosystems. Each of the ecosystem will vary its structure. Structure means the composition of the living beings and the types of living beings, types of species present in that, and the type of the environmental factors that will be operating on that. That talks about the structure of the ecosystem. So if they ask a question in the examination to say what is the structure of a ecosystem, then you have to think what particular type of area, geographical area, you are looking at it. Then we come to the second part. Whatever the type of structure may be, structure is always a combination of two, as you rightly said, and that is the biotic and abiotic factors. And what would be its function? Any ecosystem for that matter, it may be an ecosystem of the desert, it may be an ecosystem of the forest, or it may be an ecosystem in the water. Whatever the type of ecosystem you are studying, what is its function? As a whole, what is the function of ecosystem? If you look at it, it does at least four important functions which we have to remember. One of the major function will be production. What is that produces? In order living system to live, they require food, and the production of food is taken care in any ecosystem by means of green plants. So these are the partners. Green plants will take care of that. That is the first function in any ecosystem. Then comes the energy flow. What does it mean? That means the green energy that is present in the sun, solar energy, which will be incidence on the green leaves, and they capture this energy from the sunlight and the white light, and they fix the carbon in the form of glucose. So carbon fixation takes place, and this carbon fixation will produce the say C6H12O6 glucose, and this glucose contains energy. That means solar energy is captured in the glucose molecule, and that energy molecule will flow from one level to second level. That means from the production, wherever it happened, from there the energy flows to the animals. From animals it goes to different types of organisms. That is another important function. And the next function will be is decomposition. This is also a very important function. What do we mean by that? See, the living beings have a limited life. There is a definite way they have to die one day. They have to stop all their functions one day. Then the number may increase in the death once. Therefore, there will be decomposition. Whether it is the plant, animal, whether it is in the forest or in the desert or in the water, wherever they are, they will have to be decomposed. They will be broken down into the various organic and inorganic parts. That takes place as a function in the ecosystem. Remember, we are talking about the function of the total ecosystem. It may refer to a larger ecosystem like even a biosphere. You can even think of biosphere as a big ecosystem. There also the same thing will happen. And the next one will be, say, the minerals present in the earth, which you can call them the nutrients sometimes. This will be cycled. That means they go from one organism to other organism, from one level to other level. So these are the 4 important functions. So now you have to remember the ecosystem has a structure. Structure refers to the composition of the ecosystem. It may be water or it may be land, what type of soil it is, whether it is sand or it is clay, what kind of soil, what type of temperature we get, what type of light we get it, all this will form the structure. Whatever the structure may be, there will be 4 functions which are very important and they will be going on in the ecosystem. Whether you like it or not, it keeps on going. See, production of food, you can't stop it. Plants manufacture their own food. Whether you like it or not, they will be doing it. It is a natural phenomena. And energy flow also will be there. Whether you like it or not, energy from sun to the plants will be coming, and then plants will get that energy stored up in the form of food molecules, and that goes to different biotic factors. Then there will be decomposition. Many plants and animals may die due to many things and they will be decomposed. The earth or the soil where we are all living, our habitat, whether plant or animal, all of us have the earth as a platform for our living, and that earth contains a large amount of minerals of different types and nutrients for the plant, and that will be cycled from soil to plants, plants to animals, animals and back to earth. That type of cycling will be going on in a constant way. So in a way, we can think that the biosphere has a constant activity where there will be production, energy flow, decomposition and mineral cycling. All these things are essential for only one thing, that is to keep the balance of life and keep the life going on in the earth. That is the major function. So we shall stop at this point today and we will take up the next one, the productivity, in the next session. Thank you.